Hi, this is a lesson for directed writing. So today we are going to learn to write an article. So let's look at past year's SPM questions. In 2008, there is an article about your friend for your school magazine, and in 2014, an article for your school magazine on how to ensure safety in the neighborhood. Do you know how to write an article? So let's look at the format. Okay, first of all, you need to have the title. And then if the article is for a newsletter or for a school magazine, below the title you have to write by and then write your name or the pupil's name. And then we are going to write the first paragraph, and then you have the content paragraphs. It can be paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and the conclusion is the last paragraph. Okay, let's look at paragraph 1, introduction. First of all, you have to write the title, and then by student's name, and then the introduction will be the first paragraph. The article is about, then you can write the topic. And for the content reminder, make sure that you use connectors, and then the topic sentence. You can use the content points given and then write the topic sentence. Write a sentence using one content point, and then you can start with a connector or logical sequencing. Example, first, firstly, first and foremost, second, secondly, and others. Then you can continue with next, then, besides, moreover, furthermore, in addition, apart from that, and there are others. And then the last, in conclusion, you can write finally, lastly, last but not least. In the last paragraph, for example, as a conclusion, these are the reasons. Let's look at the question. You find that many of your friends are under a lot of pressure. They spend most of their day studying and appear to suffer from stress. Write an article for your school newsletter on how to cope with stress. Include the following points: regular exercise, hobbies, work in groups, balanced meal, enough sleep, study skills, make a checklist, seek advice, talk to your family, listen to music, counselors, and games. So let's look at the format. F1 will be for title, format 1, format 2, F2, name of the writer, and then format 3 or F3 for the introduction. Let's move on to the content. So we have 12 contents. C1, regular exercise. C2, hobbies. C3, work in groups. C4, balanced meals. C5, enough sleep. C6, study skills. C7, make a checklist. C8, seek advice. C9, talk to your family. C10, listen to music. C11, counselors. C12, games. First of all, we can write the title, Coping with Stress, and then you can write your name by Wira Muhammad. So that is Coping with Stress will be for format 1, and by Wira Muhammad is for format 2. So let's look at the first paragraph, which is in the introduction. You can write, the phenomenon of students under stress is evident from the behavior of those students affected. I am a student and I know when my friends are under stress. Some of these active ones will suddenly turn passive. Some will become too quiet, while some tend to get angry fast. Or you can write another example for the introduction is, have you ever felt stress? Well, you are not alone, as every person in the world has to face stress at one time or another. Since stress is a part of life, it is essential to learn how to deal with it. Here are some strategies for dealing with stress and pressure. Now, for paragraph 2, we're going to use content 1 and content 12. Content 1 is regular exercise and content 12 is games. So we have C1, C12. There are many ways one can get rid of stress. Firstly, students, especially teenagers, must go for regular exercise. A brisk walk in a park would release a lot of tension. Students should play football, hockey, basketball, and badminton to reduce stress. For paragraph 3, we are using content 2 and content 10, hobbies and listen to music. So example, you can write, exercise is also said to relax the body muscles and keep you calm. Students must have hobbies such as reading, collecting stamps, fishing, or listening to music of your choice. These leisure activities help keep students free from school-related stress. And then we move on to paragraph 4. The contents are C3, work in group, C6, study skills, C7, make a checklist. Example, therefore students should plan a timetable. They can also work in groups to solve some of the academic problems. Besides making friends and discussing certain issues, group discussions can help improve study skills. One of these is the ability to make a checklist of all the activities planned and carried out. This in turn will make studying more effective and avoid unnecessary pressure. For paragraph 5, we have content points: C4, balanced meal; C5, enough sleep; C8, seek advice; C11, counselors; C9, talk to your family. So let's look at the example. Students should also have balanced meals and enough sleep. These are said to be basic to healthy lives. Students, especially those in examination classes, must sleep and eat well because a healthy body creates a healthy mind. However, the process of going to sleep can sometimes be difficult. Hence, it is necessary to seek advice from those whom we trust and love. Counselors in school are helpful, but you can always talk to your family first. However, if nothing works, there is a need to seek treatment from the relevant authorities. You may be surprised, but a friend of mine said that screaming at the mountains and laughing your heart out can take away stress. So now we are at paragraph 6, which is a conclusion. You can write, for example, in conclusion, stress may be unavoidable, but it need not make life miserable for you. There are many ways to reduce and deal with stress, such as strategies shared here. Life gets better once stress is controlled. Some say that a little stress is good for you as it pushes you to react and achieve your goals. On the other hand, when stress is prolonged, it causes physical and emotional problems that may damage both your health and your performance. Thus, it is important for us to learn how to handle our stress. These are more examples on how to write using the content points. Here we have C1 regular exercise, C2 hobbies, and C12 games. Next, get some regular exercise. You may think that if you don't have the time to sleep and eat properly, you definitely don't have the time to exercise. However, don't worry about this. You have extracurricular activities and games where you can let off your steam and lessen stress. If needs be, you can go for a relaxing 30-minute walk while listening to your favorite music and even take a power nap during rest time. I assure you, you will definitely feel much better. And during weekends, you can play games with your friends. Study shows that those with hobbies and those who indulge in physical activity that resulted in bodily tiredness were less stressed. The importance of rest and recreation thus came into consideration as a remedy for stress. Today, attitudes have changed to such an extent that rest and recreation are now considered essentials to a healthy and satisfying existence. Sports, games, and other forms of physical exertion are now identified as absolutely necessary for a healthy body and hence a healthy mind. For the first time in human history, mental health has been given an equal footing to physical health. For content 4, balanced meals, you can write this paragraph. At the same time, you should eat healthy food. Just like your sleep habits, your eating habits too may have changed, especially as you have to follow a new schedule and a new diet. Think back on what and when you had eaten over the past few days. You may think your stress is psychological, but it could just be physical stress if you are not fueling your body appropriately. So, on outing days, get something balanced and healthy. Fruit and vegetables, whole grains and protein. Starting your day with breakfast is necessary. Don't ever go to class on an empty stomach. That spells trouble and illness. Studies were conducted in which students were asked to perform tasks after either having eaten or not eaten breakfast. Much evidence pointed out to improvements in learning and memory and general well-being. For content 5, enough sleep, you can write, make sure you get enough sleep. Your sleep schedule is most likely far from ideal now, so getting more sleep can help your mind refocus, recharge, and rebalance. This can mean a quick nap before study hours, a night when you go to bed early, or a promise to yourself to stick with a regular sleep schedule. Sometimes, one good night's sleep can be all you need to feel charged and energetic once again. Content 7. Make a checklist. Most of the time, stress is a result of feeling overwhelmed. To get rid of this feeling, keep yourself organized. For example, you can keep a daily organizer or checklist and plan your activities. Get your priorities straight and focus on things that are really important. Do not get caught up in minor issues that only create additional work for you. Break tasks down into manageable bits and tackle them one by one or step by step. Proper planning also helps you avoid the stress of doing things at the 11th hour. Moving on to content 8, seek advice, and 11, counselors. So let's look at the examples. The next thing that we can do to reduce stress is to confide in someone we trust. Don't keep things bottled up. Talking with someone helps you to put things in better perspective. Who knows, they may even have solutions to your problems. Do not be afraid to seek professional advice if you feel you have reached breaking point. Of course, don't be afraid of getting a little help if you need it. It can be hard to ask for help, and your friends may not know how stressed out you are. Nevertheless, most students are going through the same things at the same time, so don't feel shy to vent your frustrations for 30 minutes over coffee with a friend. It will help you refocus and make you realize that the things you are so stressed about are actually quite manageable. Alternatively, you can see the counselors who will be only too glad to listen to your woes. Keep the lines of communication open, especially to someone you can trust. Content 10 is listening to music. Besides, taking time to relax can help you ease stress. Doing things that you like, such as listening to music, taking a walk, or reading a book, can take your mind off things that bother you. Even doing nothing at all can be beneficial. After a short break, you will feel refreshed and more able to tackle a problem or a piece of work. Of course, make sure that taking a break is not an excuse for putting off your work. This will only cause you more stress when you have to rush to finish your work in the end. Now it is time for you to do some exercises. So this is a question for exercise 1. So you can read through this question. And then there is another exercise. So you can also read through this question. Thank you. That's all for this lesson. Bye bye.